The Cincinnati Reds are an interesting team to talk about. I mean, this is a team that's been around since the 1880s. The team won their first World Series in 1919, in the World Series famous for the infamous Black Sox scandal. Fast forward to the 1970s, and you have the Big Red Machine that won back-to-back championships in 75 and 76. However, in the 36 years since their last World Series in 1990, the Reds have only made the playoffs 6 times. And one of those was the COVID season. The team has only made it to the NLCS one time in this period, where they were quickly swept by the Atlanta Braves in 1995. Coming into 2026, it looked like the Reds were set to make some noise. After a wildcard berth in 2025, people expected many of Cincinnati's young pieces to take that next step and help the Reds compete in a weaker NL Central. Through the first month of the season, it looked like that would be the case. The team started 20-11, their best 31-game start since 2006. However, since then, the team has gone 11-23 and now sit 10.5 back in the division. This is in part due to several injuries to key players like Elly De La Cruz, Graham Ashcraft, Pierce Johnson, and more. So today, we're stepping in to get things back on track for this Cincinnati rebuild. With the young pieces in place, all we have to do is Spencer steer this ship and develop these young players, and we're bound to find success. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Brandon Satterwhite, and today we're doing the Cincinnati Reds rebuild. So the Reds are a team that I think a few people were kind of high on coming into the year. There were some people, thinking that this might be the year that they finally challenge for like an NL wildcard spot, or maybe even push for the NL Central with, the division looking kind of weak coming into the season. That has not gone very well. As of this recording, they're 9.5 back in the division. Just have not been very good this year. I think they're like bottom 5 in the league in like hits, OPS, ERA. Overall, the team just has not been good in really almost any facet. So we're going to hop in today and see if we can get them back on track, because there is a lot of really good young talent on this roster, and it'd be really nice if you could kind of make it all come together and, get the Reds back to being, an NL powerhouse like they were back in the day. Taking a look at the roster here, starting with the starting pitching, you do have Hunter Green, who is the ace, 91 overall A potential, just 26 years old, has dealt with injuries, has never started 30 plus games in a season, but 24 and 25, an ERA under 3, in 24 he had 150 innings, 169 strikeouts. Last year 107 innings, 132 strikeouts. He is on a very favorable cheap deal throughout this rebuild, so we're gonna have an ace for $8 million a year throughout this whole rebuild, so that's really nice to have. Behind him you have Chase Burns, who could very easily be a number one on a lot of teams at only 23 years old, 86 years old, peak potential. He's doing really good in real life this year. That's why he's rated so high. He's gotten a few boosts through the roster updates. Only started 13 games last year, and wasn't, great, but you can tell that the potential is really there. And this year he's really putting it together, especially with Green being out right now in real life. Andrew Abbott at only 26 years old, B potential, 81 overall. He could still develop a good bit, has really good control and good clutch. So I think he's going to simulate fairly well, especially if that home runs per 9 kind of boosts up a little bit. He's been, really good, last year in ERA under 3, the 2 years before that in ERA under 4. Really nice to have. We have him under team control throughout this whole rebuild, so that'll be nice. So really our top 3 in the rotation, I feel pretty good about. We do have Nick Lodolo here as well, 81 overall B potential at 28 years old, had a really good season in 2025. We do have one more year of arbitration on him. We'll see how he does this year, and we'll see what we want to do with him, going forward. And then we have Brady Singer, the veteran, 29-year-old, 80 overall B potential guy. Had a decent season last year with Cincinnati after a really good year in 24 with Kansas City. He is a free agent after this year, so if he's not doing great at the deadline, we may look to move him. And then we have some younger guys like Rhett Lauder here, who, played 6 games last year, played really well, 71 overall B potential. I'm probably going to start him off in AAA for right now, just to, let him develop a little bit more, especially with how much talent we have on the pitching staff. The thing is, the bullpen isn't very good. We do have Connor Phillips, 24 years old, 69 overall B potential, so he could develop into a decent reliever. But overall, the bullpen is really an area we need some help with. Emilio Pagan is 80 overall, but he's 34 B potential. We've got paying him $10 million a year for the next couple of years. So if he's not, pitching well, we may look to offload that contract. And then we have Tony Santillan here, 28-year-old, 74 overall closer. Don't really like him that much. That control is really, really low for what I like to have out of my closer. At catcher, we do have Tyler Stevenson, 29 years old, 75 overall, really good power. The fielding isn't great for the catcher, but I mean, he hits, above average for a catcher. He is a free agent after this year, so if he doesn't do well, we can move on from him, maybe look to offload him at the deadline. We do have Alfredo Duno here, 20-year-old, 58 overall B potential catcher prospect. He's our number 2 prospect. He is a top 100 prospect. Maybe he develops into something within a year or two. We'll see about that. At first base, we have Sal Stewart, our number 1 prospect, the number 15 prospect in all of baseball, 78 overall B potential at just 22 years old. Incredible power, incredible fielding over there at first. Can also play second or third if we need him to. But I'd like to keep him at first, especially with how low that speed is, only 29 speed, but really good contact. I think he's going to develop to be a really, really good player for us. And then also you got Nathaniel Lowe, who in real life is doing very well for the Reds right now. His stats don't, match that, but 72 overall B potential at 30 years old. He's probably going to be the DH for us starting out, and he might, be all right. We'll see. We also have Cam Collier here, our number 5 prospect, 60 overall B potential, could develop into something possibly there. Second base, you have Matt McLain, who, after 2023, everyone thought was, going to be like this great second base duo with him and then Ellie over at short. Gets injured, misses all of 2024, comes back in 2025, doesn't really, have the same success that he had, that first year with the Reds. So looking to see if he can kind of get back on track. He is still very young at 26 years old, B potential. If the bat can, get back on track, then he'll be our second baseman of the future. If not, there's plenty of other options out there that we can go after to fill that spot. Over at third, you do have Eugenio Suarez coming back to where he started his career back in the day as a power hitting shortstop. Last year hit 49 homers between Arizona and Seattle. He is getting up there in years. He's 34 years old, probably going to regress within the first year or so, is a free agent after this year. So if we don't like him, we can move on from him. Also, you do have Ke'Bryan Hayes, who, is really, really good defensively. The bat just isn't there is the thing. The bat just never really, came along like you would want for a third baseman. He is on a long-term deal, $8 million a year. He might be someone that we end up looking to move and try to see if we can get any value out of him in the trade block. At shortstop, you have basically the face of the franchise, I would say, Elly De La Cruz, A potential, 88 overall, incredible speed, incredible fielding, really good contact, good power against righties, only 24 years old, steals a crap ton of bases, decent on base percentage, is under team control, will be on arbitration throughout this rebuild. So he's kind of the guy that we're looking to really build this team around right now. We also have an 18-year-old B potential shortstop, Steele Hall. Looks like a good fielder with good speed. I'm curious if the bat will develop down in the minors. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Out in the outfield, you do have Spencer Steer, who, has been around Cincinnati for a while, 20 bombs a year kind of guy. The average is a bit low, but the on-base is all right. So he's, getting, a 720 OPS every year, which I can live with. I would like to get a little bit better than that if we can. So we may look to move on from him and improve there in left field at some point. Out in center, you have TJ Friedel, who, again, a guy that's all right, but not elite. So it's definitely a position we could look to improve on. You also have Dane Myers out here at 30 years old. The bat really isn't there. He's a really good fielder, really good base stealer, has a cannon for an arm, just doesn't really have the bat as of right now that I'm looking for out there. And then in right field, you have JJ Bleday. Good contact, decent power against lefties. He's not the best fielder, which I'm okay with out in right field. 28 years old. We'll see if anything happens with him development-wise. But overall, I think outfield and bullpen are mainly the two areas I'm looking to improve this team immediately. Because outside of that, I think that this is a pretty good roster. Okay, lineup going into season 1, we're going to have TJ Friedel in center leading off, followed by Elly De La Cruz at short, Eugenio Suarez at third, Sal Stewart over at first, Nathaniel Lowe as the DH, Spencer Steer out in left, Tyler Stevenson behind the plate, JJ Bleday out in right, and then Matt McLain at second. And then against lefties, Ke'Bryan Hayes comes in to play third because he's a lot better against lefties. He'll lead off because he's got pretty good vision. And then we've got Ellie. Eugenio moves to DH. And then we've got Stewart, JJ Bleday, Tyler Stevenson, Spencer Steer. Dane Myers moves into center field because he's a lot better against lefties than Friedel is. And then Matt McLain bats ninth. Rotation, we've got Hunter Green, Chase Burns, Andrew Abbott, Brady Singer, and Nick Lodolo. And then here's what the bullpen looks like. It is not very good. So not looking forward to how bad the bullpen's going to be this year. But let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in season 1. All right, midway point of season 1. Let's go take a look at the all-star teams and see if any of our guys made it this year. And Christopher Sanchez is getting the start for the National League. Let's see, Emilio Pagan is here, our closer. He has regressed from an 80 to a 78 at age 34. He also has 7 blown saves on the year. Yeah, not great. So that is our one pitcher that is a all-star. And then Eugenio Suarez is here. He's actually gone up from an 86 to an 87. He has 33 homers, a 799 OPS, 2.5 WAR over at third. Anyone else make it? I'm not seeing anyone. Nope. So those are our 2 all-stars for the year. The team's doing good. We're 54 and 42, only 3.5 back in the Central, and currently 1.5 up on the Marlins for the second wildcard slot. Overall, the team appears to be doing pretty well. South Stewart's having a bit of a rough go. A 633 OPS. We're going to move him down in the lineup. We're going to move Tyler Stevenson up a bit, and then move JJ Bleday up a bit, and then move Matt McClain up. And rotation-wise, Hunter Green's had a bad year. I mean, an ERA over 5. I mean, he strikes out a lot of guys, but good grief, he has just been bad. Chase Burns has been phenomenal, though. Andrew Abbott's been good. Brady Singer's been incredible. Is he the guy? Yeah, he's a free agent after this year. I'm tempted to try to bring him back on a long-term deal. And then Nick Lodell's been all right. Bullpen's actually, like, not terrible, which is kind of shocking to me. All right, first year draft was actually pretty good. We got this center fielder, 19 years old with 88 potential, already 6'6" overall, really good contact, great speed, great vision, really good fielder, so he'll probably be our starting center fielder in a couple seasons. Tim Trevino, 72 overall already with 87 potential, so he's going to be up in the bigs in just maybe a year or two. And then Greg Casilla, 95 potential, 67 overall, really, really good pitcher. There were 2 guys here that I just could not get to sign. They had super low interest, so there was no chance of getting them signed, but I really like those first 3 picks. Those were really good. This was actually a pretty good draft year. And then I did go ahead and sign Brady Singer to a long-term deal. He has a 2.6 ERA, a 1.14 whip. He's been phenomenal this year, so we're going to be paying him $21 million a year throughout the rest of this rebuild to be basically the 4 starter. I really hope Hunter Green figures it out and gets his stuff under control, because I mean, 5.43 ERA, I cannot have that in my rotation. So I don't know why he's just getting killed, but we need to fix that. But let's go ahead and simulate the rest of the season, see how we do. All right, at the end of season 1, we went 90 and 72, and Warrior Wildcard team will be taking on the Cubs in the first round of the postseason. And it looks like we were the 6th seed, so we just barely got in. Let me look at the standings here. Yeah, we finished 3 back of the Cubs in the Central, so 3 teams from the Central won 90 games this year, which is really cool to see. The Diamondbacks got the first wild card, and then the Brewers and the Reds, we tie for it. So we were pretty comfortably in. The Mets were 7 back of us, so it was pretty comfortable winning that one. Stats on the year: TJ Friedl did really well out in center field this year. 124 games, 17 doubles, 24 homers, 63 RBIs, a 270 average, 355 on base, 802 OPS, 3.8 WAR in only 124 games. So I think what we may do is make him full-time center fielder and not have Dane Myers platooning for him. Ellie, another really good year for him. 162 games again, 44 doubles, 23 homers, 99 RBIs, 45 stolen bases, a 283 average, 808 OPS, 3.6 WAR. He had 21 errors. Yikes. Ooh, that's not good. I guess his arm accuracy isn't very good. Dang. Eugenio Suarez still at 86 overall, so he held his rating while playing 161 games over at third. 21 doubles, 47 homers, 105 RBIs, a 791 OPS, 2 WAR on the year, and also got a Silver Slugger and an All-Star appearance here. So we'll probably look to bring him back for another year, I think. Nathaniel Lowe was really good as our DH, went up from a 72 to a 77. Good grief, a 5 overall increase at 30 years old. Played 139 games, 29 doubles, 21 homers, hit 273 with a 354 on base, 811 OPS, and 1.5 WAR as the DH. Not bad at all. Tyler Stevenson went up from a 75 to a 78, played 131 games behind the plate, 15 doubles, 19 homers, a 241 average, 714 OPS, and 2.1 WAR. JJ Bleday out and right, played pretty well, went up from a 76 to a 78, 142 games, 25 doubles, 20 homers, 70 RBIs, a 781 OPS, only .7 WAR out and right. Matt McClain, He played 162 games, 27 doubles, 11 homers, only a 669 OPS. The power just isn't there. Did have 1.7 WAR, but I do think second base is a position we're going to try and address in the offseason. Spencer Steer over in left did all right, 156 games, 29 doubles, 20 homers, 239 average, 710 OPS, 1 WAR on the year. And then Sal Stewart went up from a 78 to an 82, so he is getting better. Also, his potential went up to an A as well. Played 148 games, hit 25 homers, 726 OPS, 1.3 WAR on the year. Hopefully he continues to get better. And then Dane Myers played 61 games, had 13 doubles, a 240 average. And then Key Brian Hayes actually did pretty good in his limited playing time. Only played 42 games, but had a 293 average and an 825 OPS on the year. Pitching wise, Hunter Green, just awful season for him. A 7-13 record, 160 innings, 164 strikeouts, a 5.11 ERA, 1.9 WAR on the year. I just don't know what happened to him. But Chase Byrne was really good despite going down from an 86 to an 85 for some reason. The hits per nine went down, and it looks like the Ks per nine against lefties also went down. Despite having an 11-7 record, 162 innings, 156 strikeouts, a 3.06 ERA, and 2.9 WAR. Andrew Abbott was really good as well. 15 wins, 181 innings, 142 strikeouts, and a 3.57 ERA. Brady Singer, we already saw him. The ERA did go up near the end of the season, but still 187 innings, 162 strikeouts, and a 3.07 ERA. Nick Lodolo also 188 innings, 132 strikeouts, and a 3.11 ERA. So, the back part, these four guys, all with an ERA around 3, is really, really good. And then the bullpen, actually, not terrible. Pierce Johnson was really good, 71 innings, 72 Ks, 2.79 ERA. Hunter Phillips, 71 innings, 73 strikeouts, a 2.78 ERA. He's up from a 69 to a 74 at age 24, so he's going to be a really good reliever for us. Tony Tantillan had a good year. Brock Burke had a really good year. And then Emilio Pagan, actually, did have 9 blown saves, but still had 46 saves. So he was really, really good in the second half of the season. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. We also had a league leader. Ellie De La Cruz led the league with 45 stolen bases. But here we go, 3-game set against the Cubs in the wild card round. We've got Hunter Green on the bump against Shota Imanaga, and we win that one 7-0. So way to go, Hunter Green coming out. Goes 5 scoreless, gets 7 Ks, not bad. Also 2 home runs for Spencer Steer. So really just an all-around really good performance. 14 hits in the game for us. So now we've got Chase Burns on the bump against Cade Horton. We lose 8-9. So it all comes down to game 3. Andrew Abbott against Justin Steele, and we win 3-0. And we immediately, the very next day, have to go out and play the Dodgers. And because Hunter Green isn't fully recovered, we are going to throw Brady Singer in game 1 against Shohei Ohtani. We lose 8-7. Now Hunter Green against Blake Snell, we lose 4-5. So coming back to Cincy for 2 games, we got Chase Burns against Yamamoto, and we lose and get swept by the Dodgers in the divisional round, which, you're going up against the Dodgers. I don't expect to win that, as the Phillies go on to beat the Mariners in the World Series. So we've got quite a bit of work to do with this team, I think. Verlander and Scherzer both go into the Hall of Fame. I think there's a lot we still need to do with this team. I do want to bring Eugenio Suarez back on a 1-year deal and bump this up to like 18 mil. I think we should be able to get him back. Tyler Stevenson, do I want him back? 2 WAR on the year. He wants 8 mil a year. I honestly think I could find someone a little bit better in free agency. Nathaniel Lowe was really, really good, so I think I might bring him back on like a 2-year 17 mil deal. Chris Paddock was not great out of the bullpen. Caleb Ferguson was amazing. What does he want? He wants 5 mil. I will bring back Brock Burke because he was really good this year, and I'll bring back Pierce Johnson because he was really good. I think the rest can all walk at this point. Okay, so Tyler Stevenson, we did end up bringing him back. There really weren't any other better catcher options out there in free agency. Brought him back 3 years, 9 mil a year. A little bit more pricey than I would have liked for him, but it is what it is. And then we have a contract decision incoming for Glaber. He decides no, so that means I should this week be able to offer contract. Oh, Eugenio Suarez also, I need to bring him back as well. Give him 1 year, 18 mil, and then I'm going to throw the same offer at Glaber, 5 years, 15 mil, and then I may also throw something at Jazz just to see what he thinks. So 3 contract offers out right now as Mackenzie Gore gets sent over to the Phillies along with Brandon Nimmo. All right, contract decision incoming. We'll see if we get this guy back. I really want Suarez back, hoping he didn't sign with another team. Jazz goes back to the Yankees. Okay, that's fine, but that means I need to get Gleyber and Suarez here. Someone is saying no. Hopefully they're still available. They are. So Eugenio Suarez said no, but he's still available. And now let's see about Gleyber. He also says no again. Interesting. I'm curious what's out here on the trade block. So there's Chris Sale. Trout's here. I thought about trading for Mike Trout during the trade deadline. Decided against it. Jarren Duran, Joe Adell would actually be a really good option out in right field because that is an area we need. I'm going to throw an offer at the Angels for Joe Adell there. So the Angels accept the trade for Joe Adell, so that clears up the right field, which is good because there's no one in free agency for right field at all. Freddie Peralta goes back to the Mets. We'll see what Suarez decides to do. Really hoping he decides to come back because I would love that 40-plus homers. And there we go. We got Eugenio Suarez back. So that's a big piece. And now Gleyber, I think, is going to accept this deal, and he does. So we've got a better second baseman now as Tarek Skubal goes to the Cubs. So we're going to be facing Skubal within the division. That's just great. All right, one last contract decision here of the offseason, and we do get him. So this is a guy to help out in the bullpen because that was another area we needed someone. We got Matt Strahm. 1 year, 11 mil. That's a little bit much for a reliever, I think, but he was really, really good. We also got Danny Young in the Rule 5 draft who, you know, a good sweeper sinker combination, good enough control, good home runs per 9, so I'm hoping he does well in sim. Strahm, 66 games last year, 41 saves, 70 innings, 63 Ks, 1.8 ERA, so hopefully he can recreate at least one more season of that. He is 35 years old, but he held his rating at 80 all of last year. Hopefully he can do it for at least one more season and kind of help out with the bullpen. So I think that's it for our offseason. Let's go ahead and get ready for season 2. All right, so the lineup going into season 2, Gleyber Torres leads off, playing second. Ellie De La Cruz at short bats second. Eugenio Suarez now the DH, bats third. Joe Adell in right cleans up. TJ Friedl out in center, bats fifth. Sal Stewart at first, bats sixth. JJ Bleday now over in left, bats seventh. Ke'Bryan Hayes at third, bat eighth. And then Tyler Stevenson catching, bats ninth. Against lefties, it changes up a lot. Adell moves up into the number 2 slot, then Bleday, Suarez, Stewart, Ellie, Tyler Stevenson, TJ Friedl, and then Ke'Bryan Hayes. We do have Spencer Steer, Matt McClain, and Dane Myers all on the bench. They are all on the trade block, so I will be looking to move them to see if we can get any other really good pieces to kind of help us out a bit. And then pitching rotation, pretty much the same as last year. Hunter Green, Chase Burns, Nick Lodolo, Brady Singer, and Andrew Abbott. We do have Rhett Lauder now up, 75 overall B potential, 25 years old. He'll be the long reliever. And then here is what the bullpen is looking like. Emilio Pagan remains the closer. We've got Strahm, Santillan, Danny Young, who we took in the Rule 5 draft. We also got Daniel De Los Santos. So hopefully this team is able to improve a little bit, maybe even win the Central and make it to the NLCS this year, but that's the goal at least. Let's get to simulating and see how we do. All right, so we just pulled off a little trade here. Ryan O'Hearn comes over for Matt McClain and Spencer Steer, 2 guys that were just sitting on the bench, you know, not doing nothing. Ryan O'Hearn, off to a hot start this year, had a really good season last year. I tried to trade for him in the offseason. So let's go see how we're going to work this now. Because now we do have Adell out and right already. Do we move Bleday to center? Because TJ Friedl is off to a slow start. Actually, I think what we do is we just move Suarez to third and then let O'Hearn DH. And then we just need another infielder to come up. And that can be Michael Chavis. Or we need someone that can play multiple positions. We could do... How do we want to do this? Need someone that can play like a lot of positions because Ke'Bryan Hayes can only play third. That's the bad thing about having him as a bench guy. He can only play one position. So I think we're going to bring up Edwin Arroyo. I know he's like really low overall, but we just need someone that, you know, can play positions defensively. If guys need days off, then we'll move O'Hearn up to like 5th. Actually, we'll put him at 4th because Adell's not hitting good to start the year. And we can also move Bleday up. And then we'll do the same thing here. I think that looks pretty good. And then overall, Chase Burns has a 7 ERA so far on the year. Yeah, the team's struggling a bit so far. The pitching has not been good. Okay, we pulled off a pretty big trade just because the pitching has been a bit meh this year. We got Cole Ragans, who's been phenomenal. We gave up Rhett Lauder, who's been awful as the wrong reliever. Melvin Marte down in the minors. We did give up Key Brian Hayes, but he's been bad this year. And then Zach Maxwell, reliever that hasn't really pitched any this year. So let's go see how we figure this out, because now we've got, I think we're going to do Andrew Abbott as the long reliever. And yeah, Cole Ragans is on the team now. So this should be a very, very good rotation come playoff time. And the only thing that the offense has been good, not great. There's guys like Suarez, and Adele has just been bad. I mean, a 600 OPS. He was not performing up to my expectations. But TJ Friedel and JJ Bleday are actually, performing better than I was expecting. So is Tyler Stevenson. So it's kind of a mixed bag. All right, midway point of season 2. Let's go take a look at the teams and see if any of our guys made All-Star this year. Glasnow is the starter for the NL. Don't see that too often. Pablo Lopez got traded to the Brewers, and he's here. Tarek Skubal signed with the Cubs. He's doing phenomenal. See any of our pitchers here. So hopefully we got at least a couple of hitters, but I'm not seeing anyone. Ellie De La Cruz is here. Okay. Yeah, he's having a pretty good year. But it looks like that is it. So Ellie De La Cruz is our only all-star. The team has not been as good this year. We're right at 500, 10.5 back of the Brewers, who are just doing really good again. We are 2.5 back of the Mets for the third wild card slot. And the lineup's doing pretty good. It's not bad. There are some guys that I think are underperforming, like Suarez. He's not doing as good as last year. He's regressing. Joe Adele, obviously, hitting below 200s, has 14 homers, but I mean, a 608 OPS is just not going to cut it, long term especially. And then the rotation, I do think getting Cole Ragans helps. Chase Burns has been bad this year, a 4.86 ERA. Yeah, it's just been bad for him. So hopefully second half of the season we can turn it around, get hot, and hopefully make the playoffs again. All right, into season 2, we went 91-71 and are a wild card team again. We got really hot the last month of the season. We did really, really well to just barely sneak into the playoffs. I think we finished 3 back of the Brewers. The Cubs missed the playoffs. We actually finished, we were 4 games up in the wild card, so I think we were okay. We did all right this year. Stats on the year, Gleyber Torres was a great pickup for us, man. 155 games, 31 doubles, 25 homers, a 293 average, 374 on base as our leadoff guy, 3.9 WAR over at second. That is awesome to see. Ellie De La Cruz, another really good year for him. 159 games, 40 doubles, 13 triples, 28 homers, 39 stolen bases, a 281 average, 359 on base, 877 OPS, only 6 errors. So he cut down the errors big time, had 7.6 WAR on the year, got his 3rd All-Star game appearance. Sal Stewart had a breakout year, went from an 82 to an 87 as our first baseman, 140 games, 32 homers, 85 RBIs, a 271 average, 343 on base, 833 OPS, 3.4 WAR. Ryan O'Hearn was a really good trade that we made, 163 games technically because of the 2 teams he played for, 41 games, 26 homers, 100 RBIs, 283 average, 840 OPS, 2.8 WAR as our DH. Over at third, Eugenio Suarez actually did all right this year, 145 games, 33 homers, 96 RBIs, and 800 OPS, 2.1 WAR. TJ Friedel out in center, played very well, 140 games, 27 doubles, 17 homers, a 276 average, 375 on base, 829 OPS, 5.8 WAR. Joe Adele, man, just a bad year. 151 games, 17 doubles, 28 homers, 73 RBIs, hit 205, a 666 OPS, and actually had almost negative 2 WAR on the year. Did progress technically, but I mean, he's a free agent. I think we're going to let him walk and try to find someone else to play right field. Out in left, JJ Bleday, pretty good year, 143 games, 25 doubles, 23 homers, 274 average, 363 on base, 818 OPS, 3.4 WAR. And then Tyler Stevenson behind the plate progressed a good bit. The power numbers really went up, 133 games, 21 doubles, 25 homers, a 266 average, 816 OPS, and 2.6 WAR. Looking at the rotation, Hunter Green had a bounce-back year, 176 innings, 186 strikeouts, and a 3.82 ERA. Chase Burns was not as good this year, only 146 innings, 160 strikeouts, a 4.18 ERA. He just was not as good this year, though he did progress up to an 86. Nick Lodolo was amazing this year, started 32 games, 175 innings, 152 Ks, a 3.03 ERA. He's been great for us. We did sign him to a vet extension. Going to pay him $28 million a year for the next few years. Went up from an 85 to an 88. Cole Ragans was awesome after we traded for him. 34 starts, 188 innings, over 200 strikeouts, and an ERA below 3. Brady Singer, we signed him to a big contract. kind of regretting that a little bit, but still pitched 174 innings, 169 strikeouts, and an ERA under 4. Andrew Abbott actually wasn't terrible, especially once we moved him to that long relief role. He progressed up from an 83 to an 87. So we've got like 6 really, really good starters. And the question is, who pitches in the playoffs? I think Chase Burns is going to go to the bullpen for the playoffs. And I think our playoff rotation is going to look like this. And then we also had Connor Phillips was really good out of the bullpen. De Los Santos was good out of the pen. Santillan was good. Matt Strom continued to be really good. Held his rating at a 79, even at his age of 35. And then Emilio Pagan was really good again. Had another 46 saves on the year. So overall, really happy with how the team performed this year. League leaders Elly De La Cruz led the league in both triples and stolen bases. All right, so we have a 3-game set against the Padres to see if we move on to the ALDS. We've got Hunter Green on the bump against Michael King. We win 4-2. Now Cole Reagans against Jose Suarez, and we win 6-4. So we sweep them and are moving on to face the Dodgers yet again in the NLDS. We've got Nick Lodolo on the bump against Shohei Ohtani. We win it 1-0, so a very tough pitching battle it looks like. Nick Lodolo went 6 innings, and then Strom, Santillan each got holds, and then Pagan got the save. The 1 RBI came from Eugenio Suarez. We only had 3 hits in the whole game, so both pitchers played really, really well. Now the question is, do I leave Singer in against Yamamoto? I think we're actually going to go ahead and have Hunter Green pitch here in game 2, and then we'll only go to Singer if we need to. So it's going to be Hunter Green against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. We win 2-1, so we're up 2-0, going back to Cincy for 2 games. Cole Reagans against Tyler Glasnow, and we sweep the Dodgers to go to the NLDS against our division rival, the Milwaukee Brewers, who won our division this year. So we're going to have Hunter Green on the bump against Jacob Mizorowski, game 1 in Milwaukee. We win 11-6. Now Cole Reagans against Framber Valdez. We win 7-2. Coming back to Cincinnati for 3 games. Nick Lodolo against Pablo Lopez. We lose 15-11. Now Hunter Green against Quinn Priester in game 4. We lose 5-1. Cole Reagans against Mizorowski in a big game 5. We win 8-1. So we just need one of these last 2 games. Going back to Milwaukee, Nick Lodolo against Framber Valdez. And there we go. We're going to the World Series here in year 2. Going up against Houston. I'm trying to see why we're doing so good in these playoffs. Like Glaber's been good. Ellie's been awful. Sal Stewart's been really good. Eugenio Suarez has been good. Other than that, like, the lineup doesn't look particularly amazing. Tyler Stevenson's been playing really good, so we might move him up some, kind of like that, I think. Let's see who Houston has, because they're back again. Of course, you have your Don, who I'm guessing hit 50 homers this year. Yes, he did. Did not win MVP, though, surprisingly enough. You've got Hunter Brown, who's not been good in the playoffs, but was really good during the regular season. You still have Josh Hader. You've got Jeremy Pena, Carlos Correa, Yonder Diaz, Isaac Paredes. They do bring in Jose Soriano from the Angels. Tatsuya Amai, how's he doing? He's not good this year. So interesting. So they really haven't made like a ton of moves. But the Astros are just already like a pretty good team. We saw that in our rebuild of them a few weeks ago. All right, here we go. Game 1 of the World Series against Houston here in Cincinnati. So we have home field advantage. Hunter Green against Hunter Brown on the bump. Who has the better Hunter? We do, as it's 6-2. We win it. We're up 1-0. Cole Reagans, who's been amazing in these playoffs, against Jose Soriano. We win 9-6. We're up 2-0 here, going to Houston for 3 games. Nick Lodolo against Tatsuya Amai. We lose 8-6. Now we've got Hunter Green going up against Hunter Brown again, and we win 5-2. We're up 3-1. Cole Reagans with a chance to win us a World Series here against Christian Javier, and we do it. We win 7-6. So we swept the wild card round. We swept the divisional series against the Dodgers. We beat the top seed in the... Actually, so we swept the 1 seed. So we swept the 4 seed in the Dodgers. We swept, in the Padres. We swept the 1 seed in the Dodgers. We beat the 2 seed in 6. And then Houston, who was the 2 seed in the American League, we beat in 5. So, I mean, a very dominant performance. I found that in the playoffs, it all comes down to pitching. Like, if you have really good starters in this game, like we do, that are performing really well, you can just ride the hot hand, the hot starter to wins in the playoffs. That's what I have found, I think, recently. Awards, World Series MVP goes to Joe Adell after a very rough season. He hits 381 with 4 home runs in this World Series. Meanwhile, NLCS MVP went to Tyler Stevenson, who hit 371, 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in the NLCS. So another rebuild where we win in year 2, and now year 3 is just going to be trying to get back as Paul Goldschmidt goes into the Hall of Fame. The question here is, do we let Joe Adell walk? He had an awful season, but did really well in the playoffs. He's wanting 22.9 mil a year. I kind of think I'll just throw the qualifying offer on him. If he wants to come back for 1 year on the qualifying offer, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll let him walk. Eugenio Suarez was good enough this year, and he's keeping that rating. I'll pay him 15 mil to come back. Ryan O'Hearn, I do want back. He's willing to come back at pretty cheap. Again, this is just 1 more year, so I'm kind of just loading everyone back up to see if we can make another run. Matt Strahm is old. Emilio Pagan at 36. I think I can let him go. That's the thing with Strahm and Pagan is like they're both, 36, 37 years old. They've been playing really, really good. I mean, Matt Strahm was phenomenal this year for us. Pagan wants 6 mil. Strahm wants a bunch of money. Sam Moll was really good. Surprisingly, he's going to want, actually, he only wants 780K. I'll give you that. It's difficult with Strahm and Pagan. I think I'm going to let them walk. This is hard because Strahm was really good, but he could regress heavily. But I do think I'm going to bring him back on a 1 year deal. We'll let Pagan walk and see what else we can get in free agency. So we do get Matt Strahm back 1 year, about 9 mil. See if he can just kind of run it back next year. All right, I offered 2 guys pretty big contracts. We've got decisions incoming for both of them, and we got one of them. Which one did we get? We got Seiya Suzuki. So we replaced Joe Adell with Seiya Suzuki, who was really, really good this year. Also, we got another one incoming. This would be a big time get, especially because it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was like 15 mil a year, and we got it too. Oh my gosh. We got Isaac Paredes. So these are 2 guys. Actually, it was like 17.8 mil. So Seiya last year with the Cubs, 37 doubles, 32 homers, 924 OPS. We got him 30 mil a year for 3 years. Joe Adell rejected the qualifying offer, so he's not coming back at all. I was looking at William Contreras as a Tyler Stevenson replacement, but I like getting Paredes more because he went up from an 84 to an 85. He's only 29, played all 162, 32 doubles, 40 homers, had an 882 OPS. I think he was the DH last year, but really, really good there. And then we could still probably get Suarez back if we wanted. Joe Adell is looking at going to the Cubs now that he's left here. And looking at the available guys, there's Drew Rasmussen. I don't really need any pitchers. Like pitching, we are solid. We're good at second. Sal Stewart's good at first. I'm cool with running it back with JJ Bleday and TJ Frito. They kind of played above their ratings, it seems. So really all I need now is a DH because the bullpen actually looks pretty decent. So yeah, all we need now is a DH. And it's like, I know a guy that would be perfect at DH. And we had him on the team last year at an 800 OPS with 33 bombs. I mean, there's Ozzy Albies had 36 last year. Can't really expect him to repeat that. So yeah, let's go bring back Eugenio Suarez. He's actually not interested in coming back, so it might take a while before we're able to offer him something. All right, one more contract decision incoming here for the offseason, and we got him. Eugenio Suarez is coming back for 1 more year at age, how old is he now? He's got to be like 36, 37, I think now. Yeah, 36 going into his age 37 season. I mean, the power numbers are still really, really good. Still 98 power against lefties. Still hit 33 homers last year, 800 OPS. I'll take that as my DH, especially for, just under 17 mil a year. So I think that's really good. I really like this team. I think we have a great shot at repeating. So let's go ahead and see if we can. All right, lineup going into season 3. Gleyber Torres playing second, leads off again. Ellie De La Cruz at short bats second. Isaac Paredes over at third, bats third. Seiya Suzuki in right, bats fourth. TJ Frito in center, bats fifth. Sal Stewart over at first, bats sixth. Then Eugenio Suarez is the DH batting seventh. Bleday in left, bats eighth. And then Tyler Stevenson, the catcher, in ninth. And then against lefties, Seiya moves up to number 2. De La Cruz moves down to 3. Sal Stewart cleans up. Suarez bats fifth. And then you've got Bleday, Paredes, Stevenson, and Friedel. Rotation for the year, we're going to have Hunter Green, Cole Reagans. Chase Burns comes back into the rotation to see if he can do it this year. We're actually going to have him as the 5th guy, though. Lodolo, then Abbott, and then Burns. Singer is going to be in the long relief role, and then the bullpen actually looks really, really good yet again. Strahm is going to, actually, do we want Strahm or do we want I think Santillan's going to be the closer. Strahm can be a setup, and then, yeah. So hopefully the bullpen's good again this year, and hopefully we can do just as good this year as we did last year. I think we should be pretty good again, but let's go ahead and simulate and see how we do here in season 3. Okay, midway point of season 3, let's go see if any of our guys made the all-star team this year. Michael King is getting the start for the NL. well. Hunter Green is here, so he's finally got himself an all-star appearance. That's his first since 2024. 115 innings so far, 124 strikeouts, and a 3.37 ERA and a 1.1 WHIP. So very good season so far for Hunter Green. That's nice to see. That's our only pitcher here. Let's see if we got any other guys. We should have at least one hitter, I believe. Eugenio Suarez, down from an 84 to an 82, but at age 36 is an all-star. 96 games, 27 homers, a 265 average, and 878 OPS as our DH. Gets his fourth all-star appearance, his third straight since, because he wasn't last year in 27, so this is 28. But he's been an all-star now 3 of the last 4 seasons. And we also have Elly De La Cruz, so he gets another one. He's doing really good. He's kind of starting to really, really take off. A 900 OPS, 4.7 WAR, gets his 4th all-star appearance. So that's really cool to see. But at this point in the season, we're only 1.5 back of the Cubs. It's a very tight race there in the NL Central, and then it's also a very tight race for those wild cards. We're 4 back. We're currently not in the playoff picture. The rotations looked good. Chase Burns hasn't been great, but Nick Lodolo's been really bad. The bullpen, the bullpen's not been great. A couple of guys with 6 ERAs. Tony Santillan's been awful as the closer, has 5 blown saves already this year. That's rough. And then the lineup's actually been like fairly decent. Like everyone seems to be doing pretty well. We honestly might move Eugenio Suarez up since he's been doing so well. Sal Stewart has not been playing well, so he's going to move into the 9 hole, I think. And then I may go see if we have like we've got good pitchers down here that could probably come in and be relievers for the year and get some of these other guys out that haven't been good. So like this 19-year-old can come up, and then Julian Aguilar could probably come up and be relief for us because Kyle Nichols has a 6.66 ERA. He needs to go down. Eniel De Los Santos, he has a ERA of 6. He needs to get DFA'd. And then Matt Strom is going to be our new closer, I think. So hopefully that helps us out through the rest of the season. Let's go ahead and sim to the end of season 3, see if we make the playoffs. At the end of season 3, we actually only won 84 games, ended up missing the playoffs. Yeah, finished 11 back of the Cubs in the Central, and then finished 5 back of the Diamondbacks for that last wild card. So you had to win at least 89 games to get into the playoffs this year. That is rough. Stats on the year: Glaber took a step back, 156 games, 35 doubles, still had 17 homers, still had a decent, on base, but almost 100-point drop in the OPS. Less than half the WAR that he put up last year. Elly had a phenomenal year, up to a 98 overall, 157 games, 51 doubles, 39 homers, 104 RBIs, 53 stolen bases, a 958 OPS, 9.1 WAR, and he doesn't win MVP. 9 WAR and doesn't get MVP. That is insane. Isaac Paredes, 141 games, 33 homers, 90 RBIs, and 857 OPS, 2.3 WAR. Eugenio Suarez was really good again, hit 36 homers, 37 doubles, 767 OPS on the year. TJ Friedel, up to an 85 overall, hit 29 homers, 23 doubles, had a 796 OPS, 4.6 WAR out in center. Seiya Suzuki was a pretty good pickup for us. 35 doubles, 29 homers, and 840 OPS. I like to see that. Tyler Stevenson was really good. J.J. Bleday was still good. Sal Stewart, despite only having a 218 average, still hit 30 bombs, had a 706 OPS. Wasn't terrible. Pitching rotation: Hunter Green, 191 Ks and 176 innings, but a 4.4 ERA. Cole Reagans was still really good. Brady Singer was really good. Andrew Abbott was really good. Chase Burns was not good. Nick Lodolo wasn't good. Basically, no one that we brought in to try to pitch in this bullpen was good at all. Everyone just kind of sucked. Matt Strom was good, though, had 19 saves, a 2.43 ERA, but the bullpen was what really let us down, I think, this year, and also a couple of the pitchers, kind of not being as good. But hey, we got our World Series. We went on our run last year. We tried to run it back again this year. It just didn't work. The other teams got better. We kind of just stayed where we were at. Wasn't able to really pull off anything at the deadline. I tried to find some relievers there, just wasn't able to pull it off. But I think there's still a lot of talent on this team. There's a lot of really young guys. Like there's this 21-year-old 78 overall B potential starter, Greg Casilla, 22 years old, 77 overall A potential, Walker Reynolds, 19 years old, 77 overall C potential, Alan McKinney, a really good center fielder that we drafted. So we got a lot of really good draft picks in this. Steve Calderon, 21 years old, 68 overall B potential. So we've got a lot of really good like starting pitcher prospects that we could probably trade for like really good hitters, because we already have like a killer rotation, despite Hunter Green kind of falling off in the second half of the season with his ERA. We did sign Cole. We didn't sign Cole Reagans long term. We probably could have, but I knew this was the last year of the rebuild, so I wasn't really worried about it. But yeah, so that is going to be the Cincinnati Reds rebuild. We got ourselves a World Series. Eugenio Suarez stayed here the whole time. I was not expecting that. It was a lot of the talent that was already here that kind of got it for us. The only real additions we brought in was Joe Adele, which helped us in the playoffs last year, didn't help us in the regular season much last year. We brought in Seiya this year. He was all right. Cole Reagans was big last year, both in the regular season and in the playoffs. And then it was really Andrew Abbott, Brady Singer, Nick Lodolo being like really, really good starters in the playoffs. And then Ellie kind of, that first year wasn't, amazing. It was all right. And then this next year, and then especially this third year, really becoming, a really, really good player. Actually, I want to see league leaders Ellie led in doubles, stolen bases, hits, and WAR. Who won MVP over him? It was Ohtani. Actually, he finished third behind Michael Busch. Michael Busch, who had, 5.3 WAR. Like, I get Ohtani, 43 homers, I don't know what his pitching stats were on the year. Is there a way to view? Oh, there is. So he also went 171 innings, won 15 games, had 183 strikeouts, and a 2.52 ERA. All right. You're not going to win MVP over that. I mean, did he also win? He didn't win Cy Young, but I mean, he was, probably a candidate. But Ellie, would have liked to see him at least finish second over Busch. But that's going to do it for this rebuild, y'all. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and also if you like these rebuilds, but you also like, football content like college football or Madden, go check out our football channel, SGO Gridiron. I just posted a Colts rebuild over there, so trying to get that channel going as well as we, head into college football and Madden releasing soon. So thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.